Seven's Dana Williams spoke with a Marine veteran turned attorney who has spent the last decade looking into aircraft crashes just like this.
All 5 of the Marines were from MCAS Miramar. They were just heading back from Nevada after what's being called a routine flight training.
It's important for those who are making the decisions to fly a particular mission to study the weather and decide whether the risks that they're going to take are necessary and worth it, considering what this flight was.
Timothy Loringer spent 5 years with the Marines. Part of that was at Miramar, where he was an aircraft mechanic. He's now a private pilot and an attorney who's made it his mission to understand why these kinds of planes and helicopters go down.
You know, these are training missions. The families expect that their loved ones, their Marines, you know, regardless of service, that they're going to come home at the end of the day.
Before every flight, he says a strict protocol is followed to make sure that both the aircraft and crew are ready.
And part of that, that determination is made by looking at things like the weather and other very important considerations. So here, weather is going to be a front and center, very important question. Should the aircraft have been flying in these conditions? Considering what the mission was, and that was essentially to get to Miramar in non-emergent situation.
He says in this case, the stormy weather alone shouldn't have been enough to cause the type of helicopter the 5 Marines were in to crash.
These aircraft, the CH-53, and this is the Echo model, are designed to operate in extreme environments and in, weather conditions that other pilots might decide is too intense for them. But there are limitations on all aircraft, and weather can be very unforgiving.
But when it comes to getting answers, the military investigation process is a long one.
Based on my experience, it will take at least a year for them to release the findings of their investigation, and it could take longer depending on the circumstances. You can imagine the Marine Corps, the military generally, the government generally is known to take a long time. That's because there's a lot of people involved in the process of conducting the investigation.
So it might be quite some time until we get any sort of insight into what went so wrong. From Miramar, I'm Dana Williams, NBC 7.